The story of Galactus in Fortnite begins early in Chapter 1 during the end event. As Donald Mustard stated, who at the time was in charge of Fortnite's storyline, during the end event, the 0 Point reorganized matter on the Chapter 1 island, recreating the Chapter 2 map as we came to know it. But because it unleashed so much energy in doing so, it created a massive explosion that was felt in the entire Omniverse, reaching even reality 616, which is Marvel's universe. We see this happen all the time in the Nexus War comic pages that were released within the Fortnite lobby at the time. Yes, in Chapter 2 Season 3, for the build-up, there were comics appearing, and in the Marvel Comics universe, Thor had previously become Galactus' herald, finding planets for him to consume to get even more powerful. As the herald, Thor had no other choice but to do this, because there was a much bigger, greater evil lurking in the shadows. This was called the Black Winter, an entity that was much stronger than Galactus and much bigger, one threatening the entire universe. Therefore, Thor began searching for planets with no life on them for Galactus to eat, but it was then when he sensed something else. Galactus sensed a reality with unfathomable power, and if he consumed that, then he would become the most powerful in every universe. Being his greedy self, he rushed into a rift, leading him directly to Reality Zero, Fortnite's reality, and Thor also managed to get in at the last minute, but he came closer to the island to warn the civilians of the strange world Galactus was heading to. But the story of Galactus is just getting started here. Thor arrived a lot faster than Galactus, but they were both slow, because by the time he reached the island, the 0 Point had already reorganized the map into the Chapter 2 island. He tried to warn the island's loopers that they were in danger as the Devourer of Worlds was approaching fast, but he instantly realized that there was something strange about this place. The people there were muted, and the loop forced them to forget who they were, resulting to Thor almost losing himself in the process. The island pulled away his memories, and he almost fought with the inhabitants of Reality Zero, Fortnite's island, but he managed to resist the loop's effect enough and called to summon more heroes in the battle against Galactus, bringing the iconic heroes and villains that we met in Nexus War. Galactus' story doesn't end here, because later, with the arrival of Stark Industries, while it gets unnoticed many times, we started to see the arrival of Galactus' drones. With him getting closer and closer to the island each week, he started to send his drones to wreak havoc on the island and prepare it for his own arrival. We would see these drones again in the Devourer of Worlds event, and Galactus would eventually reappear chapters later. But before we get there, and before we get to the event, we need to talk about Galactus' menacing arrival to the island just before the event, and the plan to stop him. In the last few weeks of Nexus War, Galactus finally reached the island, and he could no longer be seen off in the distance. Instead, he was now slowly rising from outside of Reality Zero as we got closer and closer to the live event. Even in the Battle Pass tab, you could now see Galactus' hologram rising until eventually he was covering the whole island. At the same time, over by Stark Industries, Iron Man had a plan to save us all and send Galactus back to where he came from. He began tampering with battle buses and upgrading them with all sorts of equipment and gamma energy, the energy used by the Hulk. This would go on for weeks until his plan was revealed. The wait was finally over, and we were all placed on top of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s helicarrier as the Devourer of Worlds, Galactus himself, finally reached the island. Rising up, he declared his hunger for power and powered up, ready to consume the center of all realities, Fortnite's 0 Point. First, however, he had to get rid of any opposition, so he raised his arm, destroying the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier that we were standing on with ease. And then he aimed straight for the Authority, where the 0 Point was hiding underneath. As we fell from the sky to our doom, Iron Man came to the rescue, giving us Stark jetpacks and unveiling his plan. Using the 0 Point, he made us transport into the in-between, the inside of the 0 Point. As Galactus was consuming it, we had only a few minutes to stop him, and Iron Man revealed that he'd hacked the loop to create a few billion battle bus clones, then weaponized them and turned them into very powerful bombs so that he could lure Galactus into eating them. This would result into Galactus being rifted back home to where he came from, and so the final battle began. There was a little bit of filler, but in the final act to save all of reality, we drove the battle buses against Galactus and his drones, which he unleashed on us once again. Taking them down with the help of heroes like Thor, Wolverine, and even Storm, we managed to reach Galactus, who ended up taking the bait. He started consuming all of the battle buses, and when he ate every last one of them, he realized his mistake instantly. He began to emit gamma radiation from his body, resulting into a huge rift opening and sending him right back to Marvel's universe. And while not a lot of people know about it, his story would continue, and we know exactly what happened between this and his new appearance in Fortnite Absolute Doom. But before we get into that, like and subscribe for more, because things are about to get crazy. Because after the event in Fortnite, both Thor and Galactus returned to the Marvel universe, where Thor was furious about Galactus abandoning the mission against the Black Winter for him to try and destroy the Omniverse. In a moment of rage, Thor used his hammer to extract the power cosmic that granted Galactus his powers from him and take it for himself, becoming an all-powerful god once again. This happened in Fortnite Fortnite's comics, and Galactus tried pleading for himself, telling Thor that he needed him in order to stop the Black Winter, otherwise their universe was doomed. But Thor was now certain that he could take care of everything himself, and that Galactus was just a liability. Galactus tried to fight him back, but Thor was now just too powerful, and with a blast from his hammer, he executed Galactus for all planets he has destroyed and for the havoc he's caused in his path. But that wouldn't be the last we saw of Galactus. In other comics, the appearance of some Marvel characters inside of the Fortnite universe is also referenced. Seen sitting at a table, there's Storm, Mystique, Domino, and Psycholock, who all disappear mysteriously, taken by the Bifrost. We all know this means that they ended up in Fortnite, but the hilarious part is when Gwenpool, who's also present, is asked where the others went, and she replies that it's for a tie-in. This aged very well, considering Gwenpool's now one of the skins in game, with her description saying that she played the Galactus event, so that makes her an Avenger. Another comic includes a panel of Rocket Raccoon and Groot being taken by the Bifrost onto the island of Reality Zero, and when they appear again, they're now equally confused. Rocket Raccoon starts asking Groot what the island was about and how long they were away for, but Groot doesn't remember either, so both just agree to never discuss it again. There's even a panel where Wolverine is on an important mission out in the woods when he's suddenly interrupted by the Bifrost Gate taking him to Fortnite, and when he returns, you can see he's not happy. This bit even got recreated within the Fortnite Nexus War trailer. But this is where things took a crazy turn. The heroes of Marvel's universe would end up having many different appearances inside Fortnite, and now we know their fates, but Galactus has just reappeared within Reality Zero for the second time. In Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 4 Absolute Doom, his remains are found right outside of the island, and we can even see his helmet's now been damaged and has smoke rising from it. This is either a reference to Thor's execution of Galactus because of the thunder striking his helmet, bringing it alongside other artifacts from the Marvel universe to the island, or something much worse. This could be a variant of Galactus that we came to know from the universe where Doctor Doom successfully defeated all of his enemies. In the Zero War comics, Doom, who was hired by the Imagined Order, stole many different weapons and powerful artifacts from Fortnite's Ice King's castle and took them back to his own universe. Because he defeated many different villains, as evident by his collection like Thanos, the Mad Titan, Ultron, and even many heroes, it's a big possibility Doom was powerful enough to destroy the Galactus of his universe, completely annihilating his body and only leaving his helmet standing. With all this though, there's a possibility that the story of Galactus in Fortnite isn't done yet. There's many different theories that Fortnitemares could follow a Marvel Zombies theme, following a similar story to one in the comics, where an entire universe of both heroes and villains became zombies. This would mean that if this happens, there's a great chance Galactus may be revived for the event, but this time as a zombie, rising from the water to haunt the Fortnite island. If it ends up happening this way, we may even see a skin for Galactus, as it's about time and it's long overdue. His model was in game at one point, but ended up only being used for the live event. So this would be the perfect chance for Fortnite to add a skin for one of its most memorable villains in the game's entire history. That's been the complete history of Galactus. Like and subscribe for more.